For some time, this ship has been one of the best value multi-purpose ships in Star Citizen, the Constellation Taurus, both solo and multi-crew, both peaceful and warrior, and able to carry cargo or vehicles alike. But with all the extra competition appearing, how does the Constellation Taurus currently perform in-game? I'm Forrester, and this video will review the currently flyable RSI Constellation Taurus, which is described on the Star Citizen website as a medium freight transport. If you've seen other ship reviews on this channel, then you'll be right at home with this video, which follows the usual format. It's split into 5 sections, starting with a ship tour, assessing combat performance, reviewing handling and visibility, looking at the operating costs and profitability, before finally summarising. As always, I've included timestamps in the video description in case you want to skip ahead. And if you're one of the many people watching who isn't yet subscribed to the channel, you might consider it so you can be notified of future Star Citizen videos as they go live. And this review of the Taurus is based on performance in Star Citizen Patch Alpha 4.1. In this case, starting the tour for the Taurus approaching from the rear. The space in the other constellations where the Merlin or Archimedes is equipped is vacant on the Taurus. There's a button which allows you to deploy the cargo bay from the outside of the ship. In this case, I've loaded up this cargo bay to capacity, a full 168 SCUs available. For many players, they can get aboard via the cargo bay if it's empty, but most will probably enter via the elevator on the front third of the ship. Pressing a button deploys the elevator down and allows you to enter into Section B. The constellation is split into 4 sections, front to back, A to D, which helps you if you're getting a little bit lost inside. Moving to the front of Section A, this is the bridge section. There's a pilot seat in the centre, as well as 2 co-pilot seats flanking either side. There's also access to the lower turret, which houses the tractor beam, and an upper turret, which houses the weapons. On the starboard side is an engineering terminal. It's not currently operational, but it's promising the fact that it's here. And on the port side is some avionics component access and a fuse relay station. Into Section B is the airlock we just came up from, as well as a small cupboard which houses a shower and previously a toilet. There's access to the ship's inventory via some lockers, and a weapons storage rack. There's also 4 beds for crew use, which can be used to log out, and potentially in the future might operate as escape pods, but currently in game that's not functional. And on the port side is a seating area with a table that can deploy. Easily missed in Section B at the top is another airlock, top mounted. Moving rearwards to Section C, this is the cargo section. You can see the cargo is deployed in that cargo bay, and a small button allows it to bring up or down as needed. In this case, the cargo is stacked 3 units tall. On either side is a nice window showing some of the missiles aboard, as well as an airlock. This is mirrored on both sides of the constellation. Moving further back to the rear of Section C, we can see more of that cargo bay, and at the front and back is also a ladder to allow you to access it. There's some component access, and then a small walkway to Section D. In the front of Section D, there's some component access and a relay station. And right at the rear of the ship is this small cargo grid. This houses 6 SCUs, but is difficult to access. Much like others in the Constellation series, the pilot in the Taurus is armed with a set of 4 size 5 weapons on custom gimbals and defaulting to Goldarine laser repeaters. They pack a considerable punch, and with a fast fire rate, which mitigates the fact that the Connie is a little slower to point on target than others. Smaller targets evaporate quickly under fire, which makes the Taurus surprisingly good at running combat missions against NPCs. It's worth adding that the power distribution is key to get the most out of the weapons, full power to weapons kind of thing. The pilot additionally operates a suite of 24 size 2 missiles, which add a considerable punch too, especially at ranges outside of the main weapons. For those multi-crew situations, there is a manned upper turret armed with 2 size 3 Panther repeaters. It can be helpful for engaging targets behind, but is more useful against AI, as the turret can only fire at targets on top of the ship. Defensively, the Taurus is protected by a single size 3 shield generator, which gives a while under fire from smaller threats to engage them or attempt to disengage. Should things go very wrong, the reclaim timer is just over 17 minutes, or expedited to 5.5 minutes. Altogether, that makes the Taurus a beefy opponent for AI targets, whether crewed or solo, which isn't bad at all for a cargo hauler. Those familiar with Roberts Space Industries ships will be accustomed to hangar struts, and the Taurus represents the brand in this regard. That said, whilst there are struts all over the front of the cockpit glass, it's more annoying than it is problematic. Moreover, the glass extends to the sides, above and below, such that it's usually possible to see where you're wanting to manoeuvre. In terms of handling, the Taurus is deceptively quick in a straight line. With the SCM limiter sitting at 200 meters per second, the Taurus can really haul, if you pardon the expression. Sadly, things slow a little when turning, even when using boost, when the size of the Taurus catches up with it. That makes the ship feel a little sluggish and drift somewhat through tight turns, but given the size of the ship, that feels reasonable. When landing, pilots need to watch out for the tendency for the nose to wobble, similarly to the Hercules series, owing to the gear being so far back on the centre of mass. And speaking of landing, the Taurus is often given a medium hangar, into which it fits, but sometimes more snugly than might be ideal. For planet-side operations, the Taurus does come equipped with VTOL thrusters, although as of the current patch, they're not really needed. Outside of atmosphere, the Taurus can reach an unconstrained top speed of 1,000 meters per second. That's not particularly slow, nor is it particularly fast, so seems reasonable for a general-purpose ship of this size. The stock quantum drive is a Bolon, giving fair range and speed. By way of running costs, the Taurus can be cheap depending on what you've been using it for. Fuel is generally not expensive, with the bill often coming in less than 1,000 Alpha UEC. For combatants, repairs and particularly restocking missiles can add up quickly, which can generate much higher bills into the 5 figures. But the Taurus has a lot of options to make back those funds. Combat contracts are feasible to surprisingly high levels, owing to the strong shields and firepower up front. There are numerous utility options for the ship, ranging from running bunkers to rock mining, and cargo hauling or trading are also feasible with the large cargo bay. Technically, the Taurus has 174 SCU of grid storage, although only 168 SCU of those are on the central bay. Interestingly, the Star Citizen ship page currently only references those 168 SCU. At the back are the extra 6 SCU, but they're difficult to access. The main cargo bay is 3 units high, 14 units long, and 4 units wide, which translates to about 14 8 SCU crates. That's enough for most medium hauling contracts, a task the Taurus can complete well. In terms of upgrades, personally, I'd leave everything as is. The Taurus is a bit of a general purpose ship, and the stuff it comes with is kind of good enough to handle a few different situations. There's a lot to like about this ship. It's able to be used effectively for a solo pilot, but also has space for others to join, particularly as a 2-person ship with the second able to move between co-pilot, turret gunner and tractor beam stations. That tractor beam is fairly well placed and powerful enough to quickly and easily load up the main cargo bay. There's a bed and habitation for potential future-proofing, and being able to use the cargo bay alternatively as vehicle transportation makes the Taurus a good all-rounder. Compared to the others in the Constellation series, the considerably larger cargo grid is a huge plus without sacrificing too much of what makes the Constellation a strong all-rounder. There are of course some challenges. It's an older ship, and its age does show. The flickering HUDs are frustrating, the airlock's not so useful, and in general things look a bit dated compared to the new and shiny models. Moreover, the cargo bay being 3 units high limits its utility, and the storage at the back is hard work. And then there's the price. At an in-game price of 8 million Alpha UEC, it's not the cheapest. It's a bit more expensive than the Zeus CL, which can do mostly the same kind of thing. It's also not too far from the Caterpillar at 12 million, which can carry far more cargo if hauling is your bag. Where the Taurus has previously been competitive is actually out of game price. At launch, this ship was $150, and whilst that's by no means cheap for a way to play Star Citizen, actually the amount of stuff that can be done for that money is considerable. Even now, as the price has risen to $200, as a general purpose ship, it's a real contender. But for my money, the Zeus CL has the Taurus beat, and it pains me to say that, as this ship has been a real mainstay for me. The Zeus CL is cheaper in-game and on the store, is also meaningful for solo or small multi-crew, can carry vehicles, and caps out the medium hauling contracts. So I'm sad to say the Taurus is no longer the strong contender it used to be for me, despite all the strengths, simply due to the competition. But what do you think of the Taurus? This has been a popular one for me for a long time, so I look forward to reading your thoughts in the video comments. If you enjoyed this video, you might press the like button to help me understand what videos to make more of in future, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, you might like to do that too, so that YouTube knows to show you more videos like this in future. But otherwise, and as always, thank you for watching.